Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Unleashed. I'd kind of planned on doing this video over the last couple of days, but things got away from me. But I had also let it pause, or let myself pause to think before I spoke to the camera on this one. I want you to cast your minds back to 2019, you know, those dark times when all these celebrities were telling us if we don't get the old doo-doo-doo, we're going to kill Granny. Society should be segregated from those who have had the you-know-what and those that haven't. All this utter nonsense. And of course, there are a lot of people, fairly big channels on YouTube and things like that, saying, what the hell are all these celebrities telling us what to do? What authority have they got? And it's kind of the same on climate change and all that, isn't it? Telling us, you know, not to have 3 holidays a year while they're flying around in private jets. You know, the whole hypocrisy part of it. And these YouTubers and other social media voices at the time, I think, were right to come out and say, no, hold on, you've got no evidence. Evidence is showing elsewhere, blah, blah. Anyway, it's enough of that. But now it seems these very same YouTubers are doing the same thing. Now, I'm talking about Restore UK. These very same YouTubers are trying to tell us how to vote, that we're going to split the vote, and all sorts of stuff. We had Alex Phillips, didn't we? She come out and said about splitting the vote, but she also said to young Bob that you need to stop talking about deportations for the sake of your career. And we had Adam Brooks coming out saying, oh, you're all splitting the vote. And then he said, what's the name? Restore, attracting all the neo-Nazis and racists. Well, I'm sorry, those neo-Nazis or racists, whatever you want to call them, would also have voted for reform. So let's just be clear about that one, shall we? You're going to get factions of absolute abhorrent people in every aspect of life. And for them to say it's splitting the vote, what vote? What vote are people splitting if they vote Restore? There is no election for at least 2 or 3 years. You know, I would say 29, but I've got a little thought about that because I might be completely wrong on that. So now, of course, once Rupert Lowe had announced the party, the predictable happened, didn't it? Absolutely predictable. Racists, neo-nationalists, or ethno-nationalists, fascists, Nazis, and all these words that people are spouting that they probably don't even know what it means. But it was predictable. Even David Curtin, who I actually respected during the COVID times, something's happened to him. He's been nobbled, I reckon. But he came out and said, well, I can't vote for them because they want me out. David, what the fuck are you talking about? Are you here illegally? Are you? Are you over here and claiming benefits, can't speak English and don't want to work and are trying to push your idealism upon us? Is that what you're doing? Because that's what Rupert Lowe's talking about. I hope that people do understand what Rupert Lowe actually said. He did not say that every black and brown person is going to be deported. That's absolute utter nonsense. He said that all illegals will be sent home. I 100% agree with that. The word is illegal, isn't it? They've come here illegally. We don't know who half them are. Well, I don't know hardly any of them are, do we? So yes, of course they should be deported. People that have come to this country and committed crimes. So we are talking about the grooming gangs, as we have to call them. Yeah, deport the fucking lot of them. Anyone. It doesn't matter what country or what religion they are from. If they've committed these heinous crimes and they're not British, and they've come over here, either via legal immigration or illegal immigration, fuck off out. So I agree with this. So that's what Rupert Lowe was talking about. Not saying that, you know, everyone who is not British must leave. And it pisses me off. Now, I think this has been done for a reason. This is where I'm getting to when the next vote could be. I think there's a possibility that we're all being had. Because Reform are not right-wing. They started out as fairly right-wing, but they're not. They're liberal. They're Tory too. Look at who they're brought in. And I know there's going to be people out there saying, well, you know, they need experience in there and all this sort of stuff. Well, you don't need experience from Zahawi, okay? People like that, generic. These people that oversaw shit, just regurgitated politicians, career politicians. Is that what you really want? Do you want the first Muslim Prime Minister? Do you? Vote reform. I'll tell you why I say that. Farage, when reform started, he said, I'll guarantee 5 years. That brings us up just to after the general election when it's scheduled for 29. And then he will step down like he did in UKIP. And who's ready? Who's Shadow Home Secretary? Zia Yusuf. Mohammed Zia Yusuf. So if you want the first Muslim PM, then vote reform. That's fine. Look at where, if you think I'm talking shit, look at where the funding has come from. There's lots of information on this online. So, yeah, I don't trust reform anymore. The Rupert Lowe thing with him being chucked out of the party. This is a big one, and I don't know why the press hasn't jumped on it. Farage said in a recent speech, I mean, fuck me, he does so many speeches, unbelievable, isn't he? He's a cock. But he came out and said it was apparent that because Rupert Lowe was talking about deportation, so we had to get rid of him fast. So what they did to get rid of him fast was Zia Yusuf and Lee Anderson were talking about him being a bully and that it threatens Zia Yusuf with shotguns. Rupert Lowe was arrested and all his firearms taken. And it turned out that it was all nonsense. The charges were dropped because there was no evidence. So let's get this straight. Farage and co, I'm sure they're all involved, made up charges against Rupert Lowe to get him out of the party, and they were false. They were false, they told lies. Is that who you want to be PM? Someone who tells lies? So in my opinion, they should now be prosecuted. They should be prosecuted because they've wasted police time. I wouldn't go as far as saying perjury, but it's bordering on perjury, in my opinion. So yeah, I can't tell anyone who to vote for, and I never would. It's up to you. But all this talk of it splitting the vote and we'll get Labour Greens, I don't see it. Sorry, I need to backpedal. Saying about the other thing with Farage. He came out with a tweet saying, we took Labour to court and we won, and now there's going to be the elections in May. Didn't actually go to court, so that was a lie. And it was also stated that Labour have to cover all the court costs and all the legal costs that precluded this. Well, where did Labour get the money from? That's right, me, you. So no, they haven't got money. That should have come out of donors' funds. If they make these sort of claims or try and do something illegally, they have to be held to account, personally to account. That would change politics. So there you go. My opinion, closing all this up, is that we need to sit on our hands, wait and see what develops over the next year or two. But I do think that with these elections coming up, now that they've come, so I keep going off on one here because I'm trying to concentrate on driving as well, you might just find that Labour are going to get annihilated in the May elections. Then I think that bloody phone's going. Oh, sorry about that little interruption there. That was just my boss telling me he's going to be late into the studio, but you're not interested in that. Anyway, where were we? Yes, May elections. Labour are probably in for a spanking by reform, and that could mean an early snap election. And I say that because there's no way that Starmer is just going to give up his position as PM, and he's already threatened that he'd call a snap election if his leadership was challenged. Now, if Labour do get a spanking, well, of course his premiership is going to be brought into question, isn't it? And he will call an election. And I'll tell you why, because I think, this is my opinion, that he's been given the go-ahead from those above. And what I mean by that is that Farage and Reform, now being what I would say more leaning towards Liberal, are an acceptable face of politics these days by the elites. So that's what I think could happen. And of course, if that did happen, I would have to hold my nose, take a deep breath, and I would have to vote for Reform. I'm not telling you who you should vote for, And I do believe that reform would only be a very short-term solution, and that the long-term solution will be a party like Restore Britain. And I hope led by Rupert Lowe, and I also hope that Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe do join forces and become one party, because that's what I think we need. One party that stands for Britain. And of course, going back to some of these gobshites that have been spouting nonsense, we have Andrew Lawrence. He came out and basically said anyone who's going to vote for Restore are either autistic or racist or nutters. Yeah, that didn't do his YouTube channel very well. I didn't find him funny anyway, to be honest with you, but what an absolute dick saying that. And then, of course, we have terrible rhetoric from the likes of Layla Cunningham, who's running to be the mayor of London for Reform, a Muslim, because Nigel Farage said we must stand a Muslim because no Muslims in London will vote for a Christian. There you go, sectarian politics. Now, she came out and said that Rupert Lowe was a neo-Nazi. The following day, there's a viral post on X by someone called Ginger Tom, which showed a picture, and it was Charlie Kirk being shot in the neck, but with Rupert Lowe's head on it. These people have got to realise that this sort of rhetoric, which is unfounded, by the way, is dangerous. And it does attract the nutters. And let's hope nothing happens to Rupert Lowe or any politician regarding violence and nutters killing them. Sorry, interjection. Future Paul here. Obviously, while editing that, I've realised I hadn't spoken about the bit about Tommy, which I wanted to do, because it relates to this subject. These people that are throwing around all these labels, neo-Nazis, racists, ethno-nationalists and all this sort of bullshit, are the very same people that did the same to Tommy. And you have to understand that Reform, Nigel Farage especially, lied about Tommy, saying that he battered his wife. And he said that on national TV, so he's a fucking liar. Okay, and now people are thinking it's funny that Tommy has had an Osman warning from Bedfordshire Police saying that ISIS have got a death threat on him now, and he's had to flee the country. I mean, they're saying, well, he lives in Spain, so he's a grifter. What's the only? He just wants another holiday. Are these people fucking stupid? Let's just put it this way: if he's a grifter, would you do all the stuff that Tommy's done, ended up in prison, and he's got, he gets death threats all the time, he can hardly walk the bloody street, it's a good job he's fairly hard. Would you do that for a little bit of money? And then we have the one saying, oh, he's Mossad or he's Israel, he gets £7,000 a post. He's racist. Well, first of all, show me any evidence that he gets paid by Israel. Secondly, show me any evidence that he's a racist. You can't, you won't, you'll never find it. So it's just bullshit. And the grifting thing, just shut up. If you think it's funny that there's a death threat to a member of the British public, then you're fucking sick. Okay? I wouldn't even wish that upon Starmer. So, the tolerant left, eh? Thick as fuck. So I just wanted to add that in there. Sorry, that's a bit more of a rant, because it annoys me, these people going, tell me 10 names, and think they're being fucking clever. All they're doing is regurgitating shit they've heard in their little echo chambers, and I would suggest they go and actually listen to Tommy. And he was bloody well right about the gangs, wasn't he? Yeah, but no credit for that. And Farage tries to claim that he was exposing it. Absolute poppycock. Anyway, back to the video. But yeah, that's my take on it. What do you think? Do you think we're going to have a snap election? Do you think Starmer will fall on his sword? Do you think that you would still vote Reform now, considering everything that's going on? I still say if you want a Muslim MP, a Muslim PM, definitely vote Reform. Or maybe vote Greens, because they're going for the Muslim bloc, aren't they? The bloc vote. Sectarian politics. It's awful. Awful state of affairs. Let's hope things get better. Let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you for listening. Sorry it got a bit all over the place. I'm stuck in traffic again. Don't forget to like and subscribe, press the bell, and I will see you in the next one. If you like more of these car rants, let me know, and I'll try and do a few more. Bye.